What's poppin', internet? Welcome to another episode of the Synced Up Podcast Show. We talk about news, games, and sandwich a little fun in between. I'm one of your hosts, Timothy DeRoe, and joining me this week is your boy, Mike O'Clair. How you doing, Mike, on this fine Monday, not Sunday?
Monday.
Because this is our third attempt at this episode. If you were around last week, you know all the stuff that happened where all the audio was fucked and we had to re-record and it didn't go up until Tuesday. Well, this one's still going to make it up on Monday. It'll be there.
Barely.
It's going to be late, a lot later than usual, because we ran into the same issues. And so when we ran into the same issues, we decided we would cut and then record just an extra 15 minutes of us talking about stuff.
Yeah,
and
emotional stuff too.
And that also fucked up. But we have the new processor in. We have done rigorous testing last night before the processor.
Extensive research.
So before the processor came in, we did a bunch of testing last night. Couldn't figure out what it was. We've done a bunch of testing since we got the processor in, and it hasn't messed up once. So we think that might have been it. But I just want to know, knock on wood.
Yep.
I just want everyone to know I am not convinced. I don't think Mike's convinced at all. So until this goes 100% smooth, I'm not convinced. But we think it might be. We've added our CPU usage onto the thing so we can see it. A lot of stuff there. So we're hopefully that's good. But enough of that. Today we're gonna talk about Switch sales. They went dummy.
Go dummy.
A couple of news items from EA, some nice ones in there. Embracer Group continues to get bigger, but not quite as big as a certain tall vampire lady. And also in the back end of the show, we're gonna talk about the future of the Synced Up podcast, the future of new content that we got going on, what it's been like recording the podcast for a whole year. We're gonna go into that after everything. So stay tuned to the end if you care about that. But before we do, a little bit of housekeeping for you. Join our community Discord. We have a bunch of fun interactions with fans in our community Discord. They've been trying to help us.
It's really just troubleshooting technical issues right now.
They've been trying to help us through this whole problem with our audio. They play League. They're going to play Winter. What is it called again?
Project Winter.
Project Winter at the end of the day today. Looks like they're going to be playing that today. That's nice. I know they get in there and play Among Us and Apex and stuff sometimes, and we just have good conversations. I mean, we talked about the Super Bowl last night. We
talked about music a couple days ago.
Yep, it's been nice. So join our community Discord. The link is in the show notes or the YouTube description. Speaking of the YouTube description, if you're in the audio version of the podcast, you can hop on over to youtube.com/syncedupodcast and follow us over there if you want the video version of the pod, or if you just want to listen to the audio version of the pod, I would still ask you to go over there and drop us a sub. We would very much appreciate that. And if you're in the video version of the podcast, but you don't have YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, and you don't want to have your phone out all the time, or you don't want to keep it up on the screen, you just want to listen passively, you can find us on your favorite podcasting service by searching Synced Up Podcast and looking for the blue and white logo. New episodes go up in both of those feeds Mondays, 7 a.m. Central Time Zone. Gang.
Thank you.
You can also write into the show at syncedupod@gmail.com with any questions, comments, concerns, or games you would like us to read on the show, or with any criticism at all that you would just like us to take into account and not read on the show. That is fine as well. We've had someone promo a book. We've had someone make games for us. We've had a lot of things in there, and that's been pretty nice. You can also follow us on Twitter at syncedupod to keep up to date with all of our content into the future, whether it's in impressions videos that we like to do, any spoiler casts that we might do in the future, or just general news. You can follow us over there, and that would we would very much appreciate that. But let's get right into the show now. We're going to talk about Switch sales. Get ready for this convoluted mess of numbers.
A lot of numbers. Take notes.
You're going to have to stay focused here. Nintendo Switch console sales have passed 3DS. Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold 31 million copies. Animal Crossing is catching up to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's 33.41 million units sold by Adam Bankhurst at IGN. Now keep in mind, for the first couple of numbers, I'm going to say million, but assume after that, the numbers I say are million. I just don't want to say million a million times, okay? Nintendo has announced that as of December 31st, 2020, the Nintendo Switch has officially passed the 3DS with 79.87 million console units sold. Furthermore, Animal Crossing New Horizons has reached 31.18 million copies sold. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the third best-selling Switch game with 22.85 units sold, followed by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's 21.45 units. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield's 20.35 units, and Super Mario Odyssey's 20.23 units. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield have also become the first Pokemon games to sell over 20 million units since Pokemon Gold and Silver. During the 9 months ending in December 31st, 2020, titles released in the fiscal year beginning on April 1st, 2020 saw a ton of success. Super Mario 3D All-Stars sold 8.32 units. Paper Mario The Origami King sold 3.05. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity sold 2.84. Pikmin 3 Deluxe sold 1.94. And Mario Kart Live Home Circuit sold 1.08 million units. Games released in previous fiscal years also continue to sell well in these 9 months, led by Animal Crossing New Horizons 19.41 million units, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 8.64, Ring Fit Adventure sold 5.95, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sold 4.04, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate sold 4.01. Nintendo Switch titles, or 29 Nintendo Switch titles sold over 1 million copies, including 9 games from other software publishers. Nintendo Switch hardware sales reached 24.10 million units in this time period, which is a 35.8% increase year on year, and software sales reached 176.10 million units, which is a 43% increase year on year. It is also interesting to note that the Nintendo Switch Lite has sold 13.53 million units in its lifetime, meaning it is close to passing the Wii U's 13.56. Digital sales also accounted for 40.9% of all software sales, which is a 12.3% increase year on year. Digital sales also saw an increase of 104.9% when compared to 2019, and obviously that could be, not could be, I think it's 100% due to the COVID-19
Extremely. Pandemic. A lot of these numbers are affected by COVID stuff.
Yeah. So we talked about it yesterday. Went into this in detail about a lot of the stuff here. Some of the shocking, more shocking
some of the things that stood out to us.
So the fact that Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold 31.18 million copies in just the 9 months that it's been out, that's really good.
At this rate, do you think it will take over Mario Kart 8? Okay. I was going to say. Because I feel like, I don't know.
The difference is not that high. 2 million units.
It's not.
2 million units is the only difference there.
But is it almost too late to get on the wave?
No, I don't think it is. They still got updates coming out.
Because that's true.
You got the Festival coming up and all that type of stuff. So I think they'll pass it. I really do. Plus,
it's insane. That's so many units.
Animal Crossing, just the type of game it is, I don't think it's ever too late to get in, you know?
Yeah.
I guess it's the same with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but that's been out a lot longer, so you imagine the sales for that are petering off. Now, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does have the benefit of being tacked in with the Nintendo Switch. So we'll have to see there. That's an interesting, I don't know how they take that into account. Some of the other numbers here, Pokemon Sword and Shield being the first Pokemon game to sell 20 million units since Pokemon Gold and Silver. That was a little shocking.
Yeah,
to me.
it's kind of crazy. I don't know if it's because people, what were the 3DS numbers for units?
No idea.
If I knew that, I wonder if the Switch is past the 3DS overall
in sales.
Yeah.
No, 3DS is the best-selling console of all time.
Is it?
Yeah. Followed by the Game Boy Advance, followed by the PlayStation 2.
No, okay.
Yep. 100%.
No, I think PS2 is number one.
Nope, it's not.
Continue. I'll look it up.
The other big notable thing was digital sales increasing, obviously due to COVID-19, but we're starting to see more and more going into the digital age there. So that's
Let me correct you real quick. PS2 is number one.
Huh?
PS2 is number one.
What?
Yeah, by 1 million.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. And then the DS family total is 154 million.
Oh, so it's right on the heels.
So here's why, because it includes the whole DS family, so I'm wondering 3DS alone, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the problem, because I was probably definitely past 3DS alone, because there's was a 2DS, 2DS XL,
so if
3DS
you got
XL.
Sun and Moon, you're not really, there's not 80 million units of hardware to sell on.
I mean, there's pretty close, because Sun and Moon would have been compatible on so much more.
Yeah.
It would have just not been compatible on the DS and the DSi, and I don't know those specific sales for that thing. Yeah, I have no clue. I think the other notable thing here, moving on, was the fact that the Nintendo Switch Lite is about to outsell the Wii U.
Which is crazy. And that's definitely attributed to there being a lack of regular Switches when the COVID stuff started happening. So people would just buy whatever that was available, and that happened to be Switch Lites. Even though a lot of people probably would have preferred the full experience, they settled with that one. Yeah,
they're also at a cheaper price point, which is nice. A lot of people getting into the Switch and stuff. Happy birthday. A lot of people getting into the Switch and stuff. They like that lower price point. A lot of people I know that are buying Switches are family mans. A lot of people like that.
And it's like the DS where you can kind of get one for each child too. So it's so easy to hit those quicker numbers, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna buy 3 Wii U's, but I could see a dad buying 3 Switch Lites.
I've considered buying a Switch Lite myself. I mean, Kylie herself owns 2 Switches. Yep. Switch Lite and an Animal Crossing Switch. So this is nice. And also I think this lends credence to the fact that Nintendo just needs to port everything to the Switch, and you could guarantee that it's going to sell.
Yeah, for sure. The unit numbers they're hitting on games like Pikmin 3, outselling every other Pikmin game simply because it's on the Switch. Yeah. No other reason, really. It's crazy. It is pretty crazy. They need to port everything.
These numbers are insane, and Nintendo continues to dominate into the future. It was a big talking point between us and Chance on whether the Nintendo Switch Switch will pass the PlayStation 2. I think that remains to be seen. We are 80 million to 155 million units. That's a decent amount of spread there. That's 70 million units.
Yeah.
So we almost need to double, but their projections going into the next year sends them to like 115.
Did we see? Hold on. What was hardware year over year?
I don't know, but
let me see.
I will say that
35.8% increase. If they keep up the same thing, because they sold 24.1 million units.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can get there because we got a few years left of the Nintendo Switch life cycle, and depending on if they do the Switch Pro thing, you could probably add some years to that, in my opinion, before we see a new Nintendo console.
I guess you consider the Switch Pro in the same.
Yeah, because the PS4 Pro and all that stuff, like those all count for that.
I think it could easily.
I don't know about easily. It just really depends. It could. It is possible. I don't know if it's a guarantee.
I don't know, man.
Enough of looking at the past, though. We're going to move on to the next news story here. Looking towards the future, three EA news stories we're going to run through here. The first one being Mass Effect Legendary Edition, May release date being announced. PS5 and Xbox Series versions aren't available, but you can play via backwards compatibility. This is from Jonathan Dornbush at IGN. For those looking to re-experience the acclaimed trilogy or jump in for the first time, EA and BioWare have announced that the Mass Effect Legendary Edition collection will be available worldwide on May 14th for PC via Origin and Steam, PS4, and Xbox One. While there won't be specific next-gen versions available, the Legendary Edition will be available to play on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S via backward compatibility. EA has confirmed that the Legendary Edition includes the single-player content from Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3, along with more than 40 pieces of downloadable content, including story expansions, weapons, and armor packs, and all the content will be playable in 4K Ultra HD with HDR, according to EA. Oh, man. That breath hurt me. The entire collection includes remastered character models and tens of thousands of up-res textures, improvements to shaders and VFX, updated lighting, and improved dynamic shadows, volumetrics, and depth of field, according to the announcement, with pre-rendered cinematics also being enhanced. Specifically for the original Mass Effect, EA announced it will have, quote, comprehensive world-building enhancements with added detail and depth to locations like Eden Prime, Eos, and Pharos, alongside improved interfaces and UI, plus a ton of quality-of-life additions. EA has also confirmed that the original Mass Effect's combat and exploration has been modernized with better aiming, squad controls and behavior, Mako handling, and cameras. Character creator options will also work across all three games, and those creation options include improved and expanded selection of hair, makeup, and skin tone options, with female Shepard from Mass Effect 3 becoming the default female Shepard option for all three games. So that broke this week. Finally got the release date for the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
I know you wish it was a little sooner.
Yes, I do, because May is when the games start hitting, and it's hard to go back to old stuff, even though I never played the original trilogy. You're asking me to play 3 massive games. You're talking close to 150 hours of time in that. Yep. And I would
almost
like more
unreasonable
space.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like
I
more
agree.
space.
It would have been nice if it was a little more sooner than that, but I don't think they could hit those dates even if they tried. And I don't think they need to push it back either. I think it's just nice. That's where it needed to be. Yep. Some other things, no multiplayer for Mass Effect 3. A lot of people love it, but it was just too much of a challenge to try and get it to be compatible with, because the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer you can still play. Yep. It's still up, and they didn't know how to make it cross-gen and stuff like that. They didn't. It would have taken a lot of effort.
Too much development time.
And and it would the same amount of time it would have done that is how much time it took them to up-res ME1, yeah. So it's like you got to prioritize the single player stuff, and I think people would definitely want that instead.
Yeah, we've been seeing some nice screenshots out there, some nice videos. We actually have the trailer here that they released just the other day for Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We're going to show you just because it's hype as hell.
And go ahead and take a look if you have time on your own. Go look at some of the screenshots because it's kind of crazy how up-res it has been. Yep. When you take a look at like 3D Allstars compared to this, yep. There's a different level of what's the word? Polish, I guess. I don't know. Maybe just dedication. Like actually wanting to make new games instead of just porting it.
Oh, there we go.
So,
okay.
Loading.
Hit that play button. Boom.
There we go.
Okay. That's fine.
Is that desktop audio not muted?
No, CPUs.
Cool.
CPUs going up. We're chilling. Well, that CPU is just for OBS, not for the entire computer.
I'm so excited for this.
I'm glad they can hear it now.
I love those space visuals. The like purples and blues.
I was talking about the music, and just the entirety of this trailer gets me like so hyped, and like I get that same nostalgic emotion I get when I see super cool announcements, like when Kratos got announced or when the Smash Ball got announced, just from this trailer simply because of the music. And I never played the original series, so that's cool. This music just gets me going.
You're a big spaceman.
I am. I like
I'm
the
sure you'll
genre.
like this.
Plus, I like music like
cool.
this. You could put this song on any trailer, and I'd be
Truly
going in. Low-key, having those headphones there as a speaker.
Yeah, we get to hear a little
It's
bit.
kind of working for us.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I actually can't wait to play these games again. They did talk about potentially bringing it to Switch. Speaking on the Legendary Collection, it could come to the Switch when we see something about Nintendo having stronger hardware. Because they said they'd like to do that. They just had no intentions to do it right now.
Yeah.
With the current hardware, which I think is smart.
Oh, looks so good.
Yep,
Thank you for
super
that.
exciting.
Looks really nice.
Also, check out the Game Informer covers that they're doing for this.
The Game Informer
they look really cool.
Coverage is nice. Love to support those guys over there. I know they're hurting with the way their magazine and stuff is going. So if you have any time, you should go over there and consume some of that Game Informer content. I know their podcast is really good. But enough of Mass Effect. We got another EA news item here. EA Sports is making a new college football video game. EA Sports College Football won't have real players. This is by ONS Good at Polygon. EA Sports' beloved college football video game is coming back. Electronic Arts on Tuesday announced that development is underway on a new franchise titled EA Sports College Football. While the publisher did not offer a release window and said in a news release that it was announcing, quote, the expected return of its college series, the company did say the game would have more than 100 institutions featuring the logos, stadiums, uniforms, game day traditions, and more that fans have come to know and love. Importantly, though, it will not feature any real names, images, or likenesses of current college football players. The unauthorized use of players' likenesses is what led to the cancellation in 2013 of EA's original NCAA football series, when EA Sports, the CLC, and the NCAA settled the class action claim brought by former players for $60 million. So that's exciting for a lot of those guys out there. I know Chance was stoked about this. You were pretty stoked about this.
So did you know about the whole situation before this news was announced? Like, did you understand why?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like a lot of people didn't know and now have learned. And I think that's cool because this is a really interesting piece in like video game history to me, where you know, it's just such an interesting situation. How do you pay these people you're using their likeness when they don't even get paid by the university, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And the reason, there's a thing here. They haven't announced the release date or anything, and it's because they're waiting for the Supreme Court case to be finalized.
Yeah, to figure out what they could actually do. Because in the previous games, you could make rosters and basically just design that exact team. If you wanted to make the 2020 Oklahoma Sooners, you could do that, upload it online, someone could download it and play with your team. So, we're curious to see if features like that will still be in. But regardless, it's exciting. People have been asking for this for a long time. Last one was put out in 2013, so it's been 8 years that people have been asking for this. So it's really cool that we've heard anything about it. We weren't sure if this was just going to be a series that was just lost to time forever. Yeah. And it seems like it's not. So it
seems like it's not. That is good to know. I know these semi-sports games are really not my cup of tea. I prefer the more arcadey versions, but this is exciting for those people.
Do you know about mascot mode?
No, I don't know about mascot mode.
Instead of playing with players, you just play with the mascot. So if you wanted to play as the Florida Gators, right? Your team is just 13 people and the Gator mascot. Yeah. So that might be more your speed.
That might be more my speed for sure. But more my speed, specifically this new EA Battlefield will take full advantage of next-gen consoles. EA shares more about Battlefield from Matt Kim at IGN. EA has spoken at length that a new Battlefield game will be released in 2021 with the reveal planned for spring. Today, during EA's latest financial call, the company reaffirmed this timeline and said the next Battlefield game will take full advantage of next-gen platforms. During the latest EA investor call, EA CEO Andrew Wilson confirmed the next Battlefield game will be released on holiday this year and a reveal is planned for the spring. During the Q&A portion, Wilson shared more details on the next Battlefield, short of a reveal. When asked about the next Battlefield game, Wilson says it will utilize the full power of next-gen platforms to ensure this is exactly the game that Battlefield fans want to play. Wilson also says that the next Battlefield will be a return to full-out military warfare and will support more players than ever before. The hope is for the next Battlefield game to pave the way for the series into the future. A lot is riding on the next Battlefield game. Battlefield 5 was the last game in the series that EA released, and that was back in 2018. Reception to Battlefield 5 failed to meet expectations, and regular content updates for Battlefield 5 ended in 2020. So this is super exciting news for a couple of reasons. One, I'm a huge Battlefield fan, so I'm always looking forward to the next Battlefield. Battlefield 4 was the Battlefield that got me on the Battlefield train, and since then I have played 4, 1, Hardline, and 5. I have enjoyed all of them. 5 more on the lesser end. I tend to agree, specifically on Battlefield 5 with the rest of the gaming community. It was a little bit lackluster, but I will say the War Stories vignette mode, the campaign specifically, was quite amazing, but the multiplayer itself was just a little lackluster.
For games like this, I think it doesn't even matter how good the single player is. If your multiplayer doesn't live up to expectations, the whole game's going to fall short.
There's only a few exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, that is correct. A lot of people don't really, they give a damn, but the multiplayer is what. Because
at the end of the day, the single player could be terrible and the multiplayer could be good, and that's enough to make the game survive. Right?
100%. So it's nice that we know they're going to reveal it in spring, so we'll actually get to see something. The only thing we've seen of the Battlefield, the next Battlefield is like the weird wireframey, no textures type art we've seen back during the EA thing. It wasn't during E3, but it was during their summer event, and they showed Dragon Age 4, and they showed some other things, the skate game, and they showed a little bit of Battlefield, but no news, just some quick cuts. And so now we know we're officially going to be getting some news, and it's slated to come out during the holiday, and that's really exciting to me. But we're going to stay in the spring area because there was a response by the Resident Evil developers about this vampire lady.
Big news. Very big news.
Yes, this is huge news. Jordan, if you could bring up the tweet for us. If you have been on the internet at all in the past couple of weeks, you will know that a certain vampire lady, tall vampire lady from the Resident Evil series,
really big woman,
that's in Resident Evil Village has been talked about extensively.
Captured everybody's attention.
And everyone is talking about how much they love her and how tall she is. And so Resident Evil, with a little bit of a cheeky response, decided to have a little bit of fun and respond here. So I'm going to read it because I think this is funny. Hi, everyone. I'm Tomonori Takano, art director on Resident Evil Village. I wanted to use this opportunity to publicly reflect on the outpouring of positivity we've received from the fans on our latest announcement. As a representative of the development team, thank you to all the fans who continue to follow us. Most recently, Lady Dimitrescu and her daughters have received a fair amount of attention, far more than we anticipated. It's great that they've been able to take the spotlight as icons of Resident Evil Village. Lady Dimitrescu especially has received much fanfare both domestically and overseas, which has made all of us on the development team extremely happy. I hear her height is something of interest. If you include her hat and high heels, she's 2.9 meters, approximately 9 foot 6 inches tall. These bewitching vampire characters are relentless in their pursuit of Ethan Winters. Can't wait for you to meet them yourselves when you enter Castle Dimitrescu. So this is funny.
Exciting. Biggest news of the week, honestly.
Biggest news of the week.
I remember seeing this tweet on my timeline, and I was ready for it to be either delay news or some exciting thing that's going to be happening. And I was shocked nonetheless.
Everyone being really horny on their timelines.
On main.
About Lady Dimitrescu and her daughters, me included. But this has just been a fun thing for everyone on the internet to rally around.
I think it has. It reminds me of the Bowsette time period.
Oh yeah,
but this is like on a more constructed professional level.
Yeah, that's true.
Of like supported by the devs. You know that it's cool.
It is cool. I agree. But we just thought we'd include that for a little bit of a cheekiness. But let's move on to some more news here. A little bit corporate overlords.
Monopoly Man makes his second appearance.
Yep. Gearbox merges with Embracer Group. Embracer Group, the holding company of THQ Nordic, Koch Media, and Saber Interactive, acquires its largest subsidiary yet in Gearbox. This is by Rory Young at Gamerant. Borderlands 3 has proven to be quite the success for Gearbox Software since its release in 2019. As for Gearbox's publishing efforts, that's less clear. Regardless, few would have been predicted that Gearbox would end up joining another company, yet that's exactly what has been announced. Officially confirmed on Tuesday evening, the Gearbox Entertainment Company is joining Embracer Group with the acquisition valued at $1.3 billion. In a prepared statement, Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford describes the acquisition as a propellant for the exciting future we have planned. He lauds the vision of Embracer Group founder and CEO Lars Wingfors as the most brilliant strategy for short, medium, and long-term success in this industry that I have ever encountered in my 30 years in this industry. The fact he says in this industry twice just it messes me up every time I read it. Pitchford cites Embracer's decentralized structure and the diversity of its subsidiaries as examples of Wingfors' strategy. So we don't actually have a ton to say on this. We just thought we'd include it because THQ Nordic and Embracer Group continues to grow and consume companies and just expand as they've been doing for the past 2 years, 3 years, and just buying up everyone. We don't know what this means for Gearbox. We don't know what this means for Embracer. There isn't really much else out there right now. It's just an interesting to know that this is happening, and they're starting to buy bigger and bigger companies. I know we've seen some things about them possibly buying EA was like a thing that was done on 2K Interactive and stuff. We'll have to see if they do anything like that.
It's all weird, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know if this hurts the industry or if it helps it at all either. It's something that we'll have to tackle in a couple years when we see how these companies are doing. If they've lost some of their creative touch because they're now involved with Embracer Group, or maybe, they will have more resources than they did before. Yep. It's hard to know exactly where they're going to go with this. So I'm a little reluctant to get excited or to jump on the hate train for it either. So it's just a wait.
It's just a wait. We'll wait and see what the fruits of these labors end up being. Whether they are good or rotten, who knows? But moving on, we wouldn't have a podcast episode without talking about video game IP being turned into movie or film. So let's talk about this new Sonic the Hedgehog animated series coming to Netflix. Sega's mascot will return to 3D animation in 2022 from Michael McWhirter at Polygon. Netflix announced the title of its new Sonic the Hedgehog animated series, Sonic Prime. The 24-episode series is aimed at kids, families, and longtime fans, Netflix said in a news release. The fate of a strange new multiverse rests in Sonic's gloved hands, Netflix said. Sonic's Adventures is about more than a race to save the universe. It's a journey of self-discovery and redemption. Wild Brain, one of the production companies, is responsible for the Carmen Sandiego series on Netflix and the Snoopy Show for Apple TV+. Plus Man of Action, another production company that is on the show, is also known for its work on Ben 10, Marvel's Avengers Assemble, and Mega Man Fully Charged. What do you think about this?
Just give me one show, man.
Just let you watch
a
one
single thing.
Yeah.
But also, this also comes off the news of the Sonic voice cast almost being completely changed. Yeah, everybody's pretty much left the team except Eggman. He's really the only one that's staying on the team. Don't know if it is because they signed contracts 10 years ago and they're all coming up on something, or if it's just a splitting up between these voice actors and Sega. So who knows?
Who knows?
But interesting nonetheless. Please just give me one show.
Yep, I agree. Moving on, a little bit of negative news, a couple of negative items here. Google Stadia shuts down internal studios, changing business focus. This is from Stephen Totillo at Kotaku. Google Stadia in the late 2019 streaming platform that promised to revolutionize gaming by letting users stream games without needing to own a powerful PC or console, is altering course, getting out of the game-making business, and will now offer its platform directly to game publishers alongside offering Stadia Pro to the public. The company is announcing the news today, though Kotaku began to hear rumblings from sources close to Stadia last week that Google's service was heading for a major change. Oh, burp. I got a burp. All right, there it is.
There you go.
One games industry source told Kotaku that Google was canceling multiple projects, basically any games slated for release beyond a specific 2021 window, though they believe games close to the release would still come out. Today brings some clarification, though. Google will close its 2 game studios located in Montreal and Los Angeles. Neither had released any games yet. That closure will impact around 150 developers, one source familiar with Stadia operations said. The company says it will try to find those developers new roles at Google. Jade Raymond, the veteran producer who helped build Assassin's Creed for Ubisoft and move on to EA several years ago before leaving to run game creation at Stadia, is exiting the company, according to Google. So this sucks.
Really sucks. The martyrs of this story are the game developers who didn't even get one shot at making a game. Who knows? Maybe if they had released a fantastic game, it could have saved Stadia, but we'll never know now.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the X doubt, but it is.
I don't know. It might have been able to help.
It's difficult to say.
It just sucks. I feel bad for those developers.
And it's a classic story of Google picking up and dropping another thing they like to do for the future. They've done this classically a bajillion times. They pick up a new thing, with the Google glasses and all that shit, and they pick it up and they're like, this is really cool. We're going to revolutionise technology, and it doesn't kick off the way they want it to, and they decide, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to drop it.
I wish Stadia had a better marketing plan and team, because you look at the commercials for Stadia, it doesn't really help you understand the product. It didn't really help you feel like you need it. What they should have done is, when the Cyberpunk fiascos were going on, something like that, you capitalize that on that, because anybody who's playing Cyberpunk on Stadia was having a fine time. You didn't need a great PC. You didn't have the problems that you had on console.
They should have.
It was probably the best place to play Cyberpunk. And you didn't hear him say anything during that time period. It's just terrible marketing, and it falls on the developers. And so that sucks.
It does suck.
I hope they
land on their feet. I hope they find a place. Hopefully they can still work on the things they want to work on. Hope Jared Petty, who left Kind of Funny to go work on Stadia, is doing okay. I don't know if this affects him in any way, but hopefully they're doing okay over there. One more negative story, though. Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake is delayed again. No clear new time for the remake to be released. This is from Jonathan Dornbush at IGN. Ubisoft has announced that the Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake has been delayed again, this time without a clear new release date in mind. The developers of the remake released a statement on Twitter explaining that we have made the decision to shift release for Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake to a later date. This extra development time will enable our teams to deliver a remake that feels fresh while remaining faithful to the original. The remake has been previously scheduled for a March 18th release, which it had been delayed to after plans for a January 2021 release, and now it's just indefinite, and we don't know when it's coming. This sucks, one, because I was really hoping for this game to come out in March to play it. before the craze,
Yep.
whenever the craze may be, and also because Sands of Time is a game that I've been really looking forward. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's somewhere in the 25 to 35 range on my favorite games of all time list. I love it a lot, and I've been looking forward to this remake. But again, like we said, I guess when we talked about it yesterday, like, delay the game if you need to delay your game.
I'm sure it was due to them originally planning to just release a, probably
lackluster
underwhelming
product
remake of a game that they might have got some money off of, enough to recoup costs and just get some cash.
And after the remakes as of late with how good they've been.
Yeah. And then I'm sure they weren't expecting such an outpour of love for this game and people
and
super excited for it, that they were just like, well, we might actually need to make a better product than we were originally intending, so they're just pushing back, which I think is the good move. I don't know. Do we even see this in 2021?
Yes.
You think so?
I don't think it gets delayed until past 2021. I think it comes out in November, maybe sometime. Maybe they even shadow drop it in like July or August.
I could see that too.
But I don't think it gets delayed a whole year because it is. No, the game is not that big of it.
There was some news on the internet. I don't know if you've seen it, of an original Prince of Persia remake too. Not necessarily coming along with it, but something in the works too. So maybe. I don't know. Who knows anymore?
Sands of Time is just always the one I've cared about.
Indefinite waits are weird, man.
Indefinite waits are indeed weird.
I'll just forget about it.
Of the news, though. Michael Clare.
Yes, sir.
This next section of the podcast.
What is it?
Called This Week in Gaming.
What's it about?
It's a section of the podcast where we talk about the historical releases, and you guessed it.
This week?
This Week in Gaming.
Wow.
Boom. I'm glad you
never gets old.
I'm glad you did that pop quiz. Let's talk about This Week in Gaming. February 7th, Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning, the original, dropped in 2012.
Shout out to Jordan.
That's a favorite of Jordan's back there. He loves that game. I played the remake. That was the first time I ever played it. Didn't really click for me, but it did for a lot of people. Bravely Default came out in 2014.
The sequel comes out in 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
The sequel. Yeah, this is not the sequel.
No, I said the sequel comes out in like 2
But it would
weeks.
be like the sequel to the sequel.
No, so the way they've talked about it, developers hated how badly Bravely Second did. That's why it's called Bravely Default 2. Is because they're ignoring that Bravely Second even happened.
Okay.
And so they're calling it the true successor to Bravely Default.
All right, I guess. All right, okay.
So if the devs are ignoring it, so am I.
Okay. Lego Movie, the video game, also came out on that same day in 2014.
I know which one Tim was playing.
Neither of those. And Neo came out in 2017, 4 years ago.
I know which one Tim would have played given the options.
Yeah, sure, okay. February 8th, though.
Wait, no, you don't like Lego games, do you?
Nope, not really.
You would have played neither.
Yep, neither of them. February 8th in 1999, Mario Party the OG came out. That's exciting.
Yes.
And then in 2005, one of my favorite GameCube games, NBA Street Volume 3. I had this game and played the shit out of it.
I think I spent time playing 2. Looking back on it and thinking on it, I don't even know if I played Volume 3. I definitely played the second one, though.
Bring up the cover to Volume 3, Jordan.
Let me see. I can definitely... he'll pull it up. I don't need to pull it up on my phone.
Show the people.
Let's see here. Dead air, man.
Dead air.
It'd be like that.
So I'm just sitting here listening. I don't know why.
Nah, you Gucci, bro. We chilling?
I'm just so focused on the CPU usage number.
Just staring at it.
I'm like sitting here like, okay, hopefully this isn't going up.
Dude,
stressing.
NBA Street, such a good game.
It is a good. I miss those arcadey sports games, man.
The Rags to Riches game mode was always my favorite. It is just so
Show
good.
the people.
All right, let's take a look here.
Boom. You don't remember this? That cover right there, that box art. Bring up that box art. Nothing for you?
Bring up number 2.
This is the one I had for sure.
Okay, this is definitely the one I played.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I played a little bit of it, but I always had.
I played this one the most. And then is NBA Street 1 just the kind of like metallic background?
NBA Street Volume 1, just that.
Maybe not. I don't know which one I'm thinking of. But yeah, definitely 2. I played 2 the most.
Yeah. They're all good games.
Yeah, they were all fun.
You can get rid of that. February 9th, the next day, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles comes out in 2004.
A favorite of somebody's,
but not ours. Also, Metroid Zero Mission came out on that same day in 2004. That's pretty good. BioShock 2 came out in 2010. A fantastic game.
Really good game.
Alongside Dante's Inferno in 2010. A game that I like, but I know was mediocre for a lot of people. And then Unraveled dropped in 2016 on that day.
Really
good game.
Really good.
February 10th, you have Mario Kart 64 in 1997.
According to Tim, the
first
Mario Kart.
I was like the original Mario Kart, but I'm just a dunce. 1997 Mario Kart 64, that's classic. And then shout out to Trey Blackburn, Professor Layton in the Curious Village in 2008. Loved that game. And
is that series still going on? Is there any?
Yeah, they just dropped a new one like 6 months ago, 5 months ago.
Okay.
I heard it wasn't very good, but this one was a classic, and me and Trey played the shit out of it. February 11th in 2002, you have Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2.
In
in
2002.
2002. And I played that one a lot, 2.
You did.
And
Wow.
then also Sonic Adventure 2 Battle in 2002, which I also played a lot, too. So that was those are classic games. I love Sonic Adventure 2, the Chow Garden and stuff. I understand in retrospect those games suck, but it was a fun time. No, they do.
Yeah, they
I
do.
went back and replayed it. They suck, but it doesn't get much better than that classic music track running around at the speed of sound. You know.
Yep. We can skip that. Nope.
You don't want me to sing it again?
Nope, we're good.
February 12th, Super Mario Bros. 3 in 1990, a classic. God Among Men.
One of the best.
And then, don't make the joke. We Play in 2007 came out in February 12th.
You're lucky I didn't have a
dock in front of you?
Yeah, because I would have made the joke again, but I forgot it was coming up.
Yeah, We Play what? Notable, the tank mode from We Play. Classic. Gotta love it. Flower dropped in 2009. That is a good game. And then Jump Force in 2019.
A
not
banger,
a good game.
dude.
An abysmal game that we really went to
One
GameStop.
of the best.
We really went to GameStop on launch day and bought this whole.
I've never dropped a game
it was
faster
terrible.
in my life.
Yeah, it was super quick. February 13th, Kingdom Come Deliverance dropped in 2018. A game I personally recommend very much. I couldn't tell you why I enjoyed that game so much, but I did. I just loved it. And then Tetris 99 dropped 2 years ago on the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
What a fun
Still
time.
receiving updates.
Yep, to this day.
Fun game.
Which is crazy.
Got my dubs and left, but I still play it every now and then.
Now it's time for video game 20 questions. I'm gonna think
Why
of a,
don't
of
you
a
did that
video
last
game.
time?
Yeah, I know, but that episode never got uploaded because we had audio issues, which I'm not convinced we're not having right now, but we'll never know. You know,
you got to do that last time.
I'm doing it. It wasn't last time. It doesn't count.
It doesn't exist, but it
doesn't
did.
count. It doesn't count.
Please just don't.
But I
do
had
it.
Yugi Boy. It was Yu-Gi-Oh.
It was Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's who I guess.
Yugi Yama. What is it? What's his last name?
It's Yugi-Moto.
Yugimoto. Yeah.
So the
say
character
Yamamoto.
I have in my head, boom, bada bing, bada boom, locked in.
Nintendo.
Yes. See, I gotta stop picking Nintendo characters because I know you're gonna ask that. Like,
You know that's gonna be my first question. Is it
Gonna wipe my glasses.
main character?
No.
'Kay.
No main character. That's 2.
Okay. Is it is this character's game on the Switch?
Yeah.
Okay. So not main character game on
No.
the Switch. Is it a game I've played on the Switch?
It.
Really?
Maybe. Hold up.
Really?
Hold up.
You can
Pausing.
just tell me the game and I'll tell you if I played it.
No. No, I'm not doing that. Hold up.
Why do you have to look it up to know if I played it? That's pretty weird, man.
Hold up.
But wait, why do you have to look it up?
Stop.
Is it because you said that it was on the Switch and you weren't 100% sure?
No, just hold up. Hold up. I'm looking. The dead air is just sitting. You gotta say
I don't
something.
know. You gotta explain why you had to
Okay,
Google
yes.
this. I have played it.
You played the Yes.
The Switch game.
yes.
Okay.
I just had to
Why did you?
be positive. That's 4.
Why did you have to do it like that?
Sorry, I had to be positive. I couldn't remember some things.
Is this character? No,
Is this character?
No, I was gonna say, is this character's game represented on the Smash roster?
The game, yes.
Okay.
5.
Now let me think here. Mario franchise?
Was that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're on the Mario franchise. It's a side character. Is it an enemy?
No.
So it's a good guy. Good guy, maybe neutral, but I don't think there's really neutral characters. Is it?
I don't want to get claimed.
Is the game?
7 questions, baby.
So it's a good guy. Is it from a? Is this character like? Let me think. Is this character humanoid?
No.
Okay.
No humanoid.
And not a main character. Would you consider a character you can play as a main character?
Not always.
Okay. Well, can you play?
Okay, so like the example I would use is like
you can play as Lemmy in Mario Kart, but he's not a main character.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay.
Like you could play as Dry Bones or somebody,
Okay.
but I wouldn't consider Dry Bones a main character.
Can you play as this character on Mario Kart?
I have to check.
Okay.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe specifically?
Yeah. Because if it's not on that roster, but it's on a different one, no way I'm getting it. Because I can't tell you the roster of other games.
Yes.
Okay, so you can play as this character on Mario Kart.
That's 8.
And you said it was humanoid?
No.
No, not humanoid.
I think that's 9. Is that 9 or 8?
That was 9.
Okay.
So it has to be.
Has to be. What does it have to be?
Let me think.
8 questions deep. Character we're thinking of here.
It has to be a good character, not a main character.
A good character, not a main character.
Not humanoid.
Not a humanoid.
Is it
Is it
Is it a monkey?
No.
None of the monkey boys? Okay. Not a humanoid. So who's that leave? Do you consider toads humanoids?
No. Definitely not.
Okay. Why? They got arms, legs, and a head, and they just have a hat on.
They're not humanoids.
Okay.
That's 10.
Is this character a toad?
Yes. That's 11.
Is this character female?
Yes.
There's only one female toad, right? This character Toadette?
It is.
Okay,
Toadette.
cool. Yay.
Toadette.
What a good week. What did you look at that? No hot takes, nothing crazy. Just a good old Nintendo character that takes you about 10 to 15 questions to get to.
Toadette. Classic
Yay.
character. Gotta love Toadette.
So what were you looking up?
Because I didn't know, I could not remember what games like she was in specifically. Like I didn't remember, and I thought maybe you could play as her in that new Super Mario Bros. Wii U Switch version. Yeah. Because I knew you played that. I was like, I don't remember if you could play as her in that. But then I seen that you could play as her in Super Mario Party. So I was like,
there's also Mario Kart too.
So yeah, I didn't know that.
Played it
I had to make sure.
Okay, what a calm week. Thank you.
On to the reader mail section. You can get your questions read on the show by sending an email in to synceduppod@gmail.com, just like Isaiah Roberson did this week. He says, hey guys, just want to say that I appreciate you guys and the hustle. Keep up the amazing work that you guys do. My question for this week is, when is Claire Bear making his return to Twitch? Signed, Zay.
So Twitch is more now a special occasion type thing than a weekly type thing that I want to do. That's just because of how busy I am right now.
Just punch me in the face.
I think you can expect me to stream next Tuesday, hopefully, either Tuesday or Monday, with some Mario, with some 3D World.
Ooh.
I'm gonna play Bowser's Fury before that.
Yeah,
but then I need to beat.
Have you never played 3D World?
I've played it, but I haven't.
Okay,
I
didn't own it on the Wii U, right?
But why would I go play it knowing that it's coming out on the Switch?
Yeah, but we've had it this whole time.
Yeah, but why would I? Everything's coming to the Switch eventually. We know this.
No, we don't.
We do know this.
No, we don't.
We do know this.
No, you know it's Cat.
What's not?
Skyward Sword probably. Twilight Princess probably.
Nah, that's gonna be there.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
Give it time.
I hope I'm wrong.
Everything's coming.
Trey Blackburn writes in with a couple of questions here.
What does he say?
I had a burp again. I've just been burping today. Is that Sonic? Sonic did me in.
Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, that wasn't. It was just barely okay.
Had 4 tater tots on it.
With the recent announcements of Indiana Jones and Star Wars being brought to the gaming world once again, what other mobile or movie/TV/book/etc. franchises do you guys hope to get brought to the world of video games? I can't remember the answers we had.
One of the answers was Percy Jackson.
The Avengers, but a good game.
Yeah. Why are you inferring that they made a bad game, or that they made a game at all?
Were you inferring that they didn't make a bad game?
Are you inferring what I'm?
Are you inferring that game sold well? That it didn't lose them millions and millions of dollars?
Yeah, a good Avengers game and Percy
Jackson,
where you play as a kid and you go to Camp Half-Blood.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool. I would like that. Another question from Trey. Outside of gaming, but still in the world of entertainment, what are you guys excited for in the year 2021? MCU was the number one thing. Finishing WandaVision, starting Falcon and the Winter Soldier, starting Loki,
starting
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
What if?
Just trailers.
Shang-Chi trailers. Hype trailers. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Trailers for anything, really.
Yeah, just trailers.
Trailers make me
I guess
excited.
it is in gaming, but like Nintendo Directs, Xbox, inside Xboxes, State of Plays.
You know, when I made the description for our podcast.
Still waiting a Nintendo Direct?
And I put 2 guys waiting for Nintendo Direct.
And we're still waiting for Nintendo Direct?
I think that was the curse. Yeah. I should have never wrote that.
Because we are still waiting for an official, dedicated Nintendo Direct. Yep. Not a partner showcase or an indie showcase.
It cursed us all.
It did curse us all. But yeah, definitely the MCU. I'm looking forward to the Percy Jackson series. I don't think that's this year, though.
Frosthaven.
Darkest
Dungeon board game.
Darkest Dungeon board game.
Stuff like that.
There was one more. Dune. I'm looking forward to the Dune movie. And Minari with Stephen Yeun. Yes. I'm looking forward to that. That comes on the 26th. Very excited.
Stephen Yeun.
Yep.
What a class act.
Yep, 100%. Spencer writes in with a couple of questions too. What's poppin', fellas? My question this week is, what are your most hated games of all time? What, for you, makes a game so bad that you will never be able to return to it? Are there any games that you hate but still play? For me, it's probably League. As much as I play, the community is incredibly toxic. Riot is doing a lot better job of weeding those people out, though. And I can never seem to climb past Diamond Rank due to either AFKs or someone running it down because their pick got banned. But I keep going back to it because the replayability is god tier and every game feels fresh and new. As always, you guys keep rocking it. What are your most hated games of all time? Do you have any?
For me, it has to be Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
Really? You just threw something out there.
I did.
Okay.
I had to. I have no answer.
We just don't really hate games that much.
I mean, there much of anything.
There are games that we don't like particularly, but none that we specifically hate.
Yeah, I'm not a hater, bro.
Yeah, I'm not a hater either.
I'm a lover.
You sound like a hater, Spencer. Are you a hater, Spencer?
Spencer is a hater, bro.
I don't know. Sometimes he be sounding like one in the chat.
I feel like he looked down on me sometimes.
Yeah.
He's like, did you turn the computer on and off? And I'm like,
Spencer,
please, bro.
Yeah, please, come on. One more question from Spencer, though. What's poppin'? I'm sitting here watching the GDQ run of Dragon Age Origins, and man, there are a lot of down patch glitches being exploited. What are your thoughts on glitches in games? How do you feel about them being exploited casually? Should they be exploited or left to the bug splat? What about using them during speedruns? Is it viable then, or does it downgrade the quality of the run for you? One of the more prominent ones I remember is the Ogma Infinium book glitch in Skyrim, which I abused the hell out of. Keep up the great work. You guys are awesome, as always, Spency T. So, I was talked about yesterday. My friend Ben exploiting a glitch in Skyrim Switch Edition to get his pickpocketing like super max level really quickly. That was a glitch that he did. On games that are old like that, I think they're fine. In single player games, I think they're more fine. Like we talked about yesterday, if they detract from your experience, they really should be getting rid of. And if they allow you, like for example, the stem glitch in Call of Duty Warzone, or like you were talking about Modern Warfare, being able to get under the map and kill people, stuff like that is not cool. But in single player games, I think they're more okay.
And that comes down to more personal preference. If you just want to blaze your way through the game and get
that's up to
dummy
you.
OP, do that. I did it in Cyberpunk where you could sell this painting over and over and just get a lot of money. But I really only used that money just to buy the cars, which don't really give you an advantage in any way.
Nope.
It was just something I needed to do so I can get an achievement.
It was very unrealistic.
Yeah, but you could have done that to buy all the upgrades for your armor, like, or your whatever you call it, cybernetic enhancements, stuff like that. I didn't do that because that kind of felt like cheating. But I just used it to do some monotonous stuff and get through that. When it comes to speedrunning, there's multiple categories. Do it however you want. You know, there's categories where you glitch the hell out of the game, and then there's some where it's just like glitchless, no glitches, and I think that's fine as long as there's different categories, and as long as nobody's, cheating their way ahead of the system, because it's super hard to do that. So I think it's fine. The way it's handled right now is fine.
I agree. I think that's it. On to the what you've been playing section of the podcast. What have you been playing, Tim? I played a little bit of Oblivion and then dropped it like a box of rocks because it wasn't doing it for me.
Even after you bought the DLC.
Even after I bought the DLC and booted up Dragon Age Inquisition, and it was really doing it for me. So I bought all the DLC and I'm like 40 hours in and I continue to go, and I was watching videos last night. I had a dream about it and I was trying to play it today, but then we're watching Age of Ultron and I was thinking, man, I really need to kill these demons so I can get these things. I'm just loving Inquisition so much. I'm having a jolly time playing it again.
Jolly old time.
It's been classic. I'm glad I'm playing it post a lot of the updates because the war table is seeming a little more reasonable with not as many crazy high times, and I'm not running any bugs or anything. It holds up a lot better than I expected it to, considering it came out 8 years ago.
That's good.
And I'm digging it so much going back to it.
That's fantastic.
Can't wait for Dragon Age 4. And also can't wait for Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
I'll be waiting.
I mean, yeah.
And then it'll happen and I'll just
keep waiting.
I'll just chug along.
What have you been playing though?
Finally beat Miles Morales. I'm familiar with the ending of the game, and because I watched some playthroughs and stuff like that. But I finally beat it myself. Really good, enjoyable experience. The only problem I had was with some of the collectibles. It felt a little monotonous near the end, where you're just clearing areas just to get a little bit of stuff. So that's my only problem with the game, but it still feels fantastic. Swinging around New York has never felt better.
Venom Powers.
Venom Powers are so cool. I wish it was a more fleshed out game, like 20 hours, so I could just get better at because when you're better at those games, like if you get good at the combat, it's just a better game. You start having more combos and stuff like that. You learn more things. You get better. So when I was that 5 hour session I was playing, by the end, I was really good and in control of the controls. Yeah. So it felt really good. Nice. So that's one thing. Here's my 7th week in a row talking about Valhalla. I'm nearly caught up to where I was. It took me like 4 hours, faster than I thought I could do it. It's crazy how much of that game is just text and speaking to people, which is fine. I love it. but you means you can skip past it really quick. Beat Donut County for the first time.
Yep.
Short game. Classic. It was like an hour and a half for me to beat it.
On Game Pass.
Very fun. Free. Play it if you can. Cute. And then I played Destruction Allstars. Perhaps one of the most underwhelming $70 games I've ever played in my life. It was not free for me because I played for PlayStation Plus.
Only reason it's successful.
But
successful in quotes.
I wouldn't even call it successful. IGN gave it like a 6.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. It's the way the car controls is great. Visually, it's stunning. But there's just nothing to do.
Yeah.
It gets boring very fast. The game modes don't have that same replayability that something like Rocket League does. And I can't tell you why. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Like, it just doesn't feel nearly as fun to, like, because it doesn't have, like, a push and shove kind of thing with Rocket League where you get 1 point ahead and you're like, all right, we got to play better. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no communication with your teammates. Nothing like that. So it's just missing something. Hopefully they can bring it around because it's I think it can be a really good IP. And the controls that they have a good amount of stuff there. They just need to make better modes. Mm-hmm. That's what I've been playing though.
All right. That's it. But we're not going to end the podcast yet. We're going to talk about the future of the Synced Up podcast before we get rid of this.
Let's talk about the past.
What are we talking about in the past?
This year in review.
Oh, well, first let's talk about these audio issues we've been having. So what are the odds the audio's fucked up right now?
I'd say at least 50%.
Like not zero?
Definitely not zero.
I agree with you. I'm kind of worried. At clicking it after I just spent $400 on a CPU.
Now, I have a question. Do you want to end here, check it, and then recut back in with the mushy stuff? Or do you want to just keep going?
Yeah, because maybe... Actually, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So I don't waste my time.
Soft ending here.
Yeah, soft ending. We're coming back in about 5 seconds. Jordan, end this recording.
Here's a message from our sponsor. Hey, Tim.
What?
Do your toes ever get cold?
Sometimes.
How cold are we talking?
We're talking a little chilly.
A little chilly?
Like, 50 degrees or colder.
All 10 of them? 9? I don't judge.
I don't know, sometimes a little less.
There's a solution for your problem.
What's the solution to that problem?
Socks. Have you heard of socks?
Yes, I have.
They come big, small, round, square.
Our sponsor this week, socks.
Thank you, Socks, for sponsoring.
I'm not wearing any socks. What?
Put your toes away.
No. No socks. No socks.
Socks may have sponsored us, but they didn't send us any. Socks. So really a trash sponsor,
right? Facts.
But you can get your socks at any sock selling store.
Yep. Okay, this bit is over.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a little cheeky right now because the audio was fine. We did have an issue with the trailer. The trailer audio didn't play, but that's perfectly fine. It sucks y'all can't hear the music.
We already fixed it.
But go watch your trailer. But we have fixed it for future. We figured out what it was. So that is fixed. But I'm stoked that nothing fucked up.
Me too.
I'm so stoked.
So what were we going to talk about?
So now we're going to talk about the future of the Synced Up podcast. And I can do it a little bit better now that I know I don't have the looming fear that the audio is fucked up.
Do you not want to talk about where we started? Do you just want to talk about the future?
No, we'll talk about where we started. But
I'll let you leave.
Let's talk about the audio issues we had because we need to address them now. So we've been having audio issues the past couple of weeks. Obviously, this episode is going up late because of audio issues. Last week's episode was lackluster because of audio issues. The last 5 to 10 minutes was fucked up because of audio issues. I appreciate every single one of you who has stuck through that. I know we've had that audio issue pop up randomly in the past. We seemingly couldn't find the problem, and we've upgraded the CPU. And as of right now, I'm still not convinced.
No.
But as of right now, during this episode, the audio did not fuck up at all. We ran the lower thirds. We ran the intro. We showed a trailer. We went on Twitter. No audio mishaps whatsoever. We think we might have isolated the problem, and the CPU was it. I really hope so. I hope the problem doesn't arise. So thank you so much for sticking around through that. I believe that we have fixed it. I'm not 100%, but I believe that we have fixed it. Enough of that, though. So we wanted to talk a little bit about, because this is our 51st episode, or 52nd, I don't know.
We're coming up real close to a year of doing this.
It's almost been a year of doing this podcast, and so we already had this 15-minute conversation yesterday, but the audio was fucked up, so,
from start to finish,
it was terrible, which sucks, but a little bit of a retrospective and a looking forward of, hey, there's a $10 bill on the table. What's going on there? Who got some money? A little bit of a retrospective on the podcast. He slides on the podcast to really look about where we came from and where we're going.
So this all started in
February.
February of 2020. Me too, bro. You want some of mine?
No.
I got a little bit left. It started February 2020 in my apartment in my room.
What we
with
did,
a trashed little desk.
Yep.
and some crappy mics, recording on my little laptop.
And what we did was we sold your drum set. We sold your drum set, and I put some money up, and you put the money you got from trading your drum set into Guitar Center.
Yep.
And we bought
the
two
mics.
very shitty $90 mics.
Yeah.
And
with a pop filter and some stands.
Yep. And we used our old music recording equipment too as well to get that recorded. And we were just in audio only. And it was bad audio. A lot of those first episodes, my mic wasn't even on. Yeah. And it was very echoey.
All through my mic.
It's kind of weird. But we got it going. And like you said before, people weren't around for like years ago when we started the Syzygy podcast.
Yeah, so this has been something we wanted to do for a long time.
And that podcast is terrible.
It's truly bad.
Only existed
I have
in
the
2
files
episodes
somewhere.
Yeah, 2 episodes are on some SoundCloud somewhere.
Yep.
I don't remember where, but they're up there. I mean, you can hear them.
And they're a bit ridiculous.
There's like 8 of us all around one mic talking about coconuts.
And it was positioned above a pillow, and that was our our sound capture.
Yep.
And it was a terrible system.
Yes, it was god.
There were some good moments in there.
There was.
Jack had some hot takes.
He did.
It was fun.
It was fun.
But we've come pretty far now.
We
made the change from just audio
to video
when we moved into this house.
So what happened there? Just a little bit of insight into that. My grandpa died years and years and years ago. It's been a long time. It's been like 10 years since he died. But he had a salvage yard, and he put a lot of money away for all of his grandkids. And I finally got that money. And I just looked at it, and as much as my parents wanted me to invest it in real estate or whatever and stuff, which is smart, by the way, like if you should do that type of stuff. I have a very different outlook when it comes to money and the future. Money is not something that I care about necessarily. I tend to be very flippant with it, not to the detriment of myself. I never put myself in a bad financial position, but I'm never one to not want to spend money.
You don't make moves usually just to gain money.
For financial gain. I invested in Dogecoin for the meme. I don't have money in all kinds of investments. I don't have... I don't have a lot of stuff like that. I'm not investing in real estate like my parents do. So I decided I was going to take that money, and we were going to take a leap of faith, and I was going to upgrade the podcast to an insane degree. We were going to move to video. We were going to get OBS. We were going to reach out to more people. We were going to try to make some serious growth. And we did. It was very expensive.
And he did all that.
Yeah, the camera was...
I painted the TV.
Mike painted the TV. The camera was $1,000 on its own. The mics themselves were...
a couple hundred each.
Between the both of them and the things needed to get them to the recording software was over $1,000. And
I got the lights.
It ended up costing me close to $6,000 now at this point. With all of the equipment and the CPU and stuff, it's cost me a lot of money. But that being said... that's not a negative in any way. This has been an incredibly fulfilling experience. It has been fun we've been getting so much experience doing this over the course of the last 6 months and to a year. You've got in with 5'9" and had the ability to join them and do some stuff with them.
I've learned so much just from, starting out here. Because before we did this, I think I was here because we had good banter, not because I was very well versed in the video game industry. But now it's been a whole year, and I feel like I know so much more. I feel way more involved. I've learned a lot from doing this.
Because going in, I'm not gonna lie, because when we were going in and I was trying to figure out how we're gonna do a podcast, Chance moving away fucked me up, because Chance was the only one who could ever match my energy when it came to being
excited
and
knowing what was happening.
And so when Chance moved to Texas, I was like, it kind of sucked, because I wanted him to be on the podcast a lot, because I thought he would be able to bring the most to the table.
Let me know how you feel about me.
I'm just saying, this is in the beginning, but you've really definitely stepped up to the plate and have done quite good. And now you're doing all this stuff with 5'9", and you've got back into main console gaming and stuff, and that's been incredibly nice. And as people have said, going into this, a lot of my friends, not friends that you know, but friends outside of our specific main circle, told me that they were iffy going in because they didn't know you, right? And they knew me talking to them on the phone. They were like, oh, you could do it for sure, but I don't know about that guy. And then 3-4 episodes in, they were like, oh, no, the banter's great. It's been
weird to, we've gotten from people who don't know either of us, right? Like Bob Buell, hearing him say that he enjoyed our banter.
And
which is so weird to me.
We reached out, got Bob Buell on the podcast. That was a fun experience, a very good episode. And for him, after we recorded that episode, we talked for about 30 minutes and talked to him about what we liked about his stuff. And he was like, hey man, you guys are like really good. Like I thought you were cutting dead air. I thought you were chopping things up, but it turns out like you guys are just that good. And that was a really good thing to have with Bob Buell. And that's been exciting. And so now we've upgraded, and this is where we are now. We invested in the MinMax podcast for $400 and invested in sponsoring them, which I very much enjoyed doing, not because we received a bunch of growth from it, but because I love those guys very, very much. And I've been following Ben Hansen for years on the Game Informer podcast. And when he left, I knew I was going to be a patron from day one, and I have been. Upped my pledge that month to get our sponsorship going, so maybe we could get some crossover. And for him to have said he listened to a couple of episodes and he liked our banter and he liked our quality, and that was very cool. Yeah. And for them to send us that personal thank you message and be like, hey, thank you for doing that. We listened to your podcast. It was great. And that's been very cool. A cool thing to have. And for 80, I guess, ish people from there to hop over and well, I don't necessarily know if they're all from there, but a lot of you to hop over from the MinMax podcast and start listening to our show. Like Miguel last week with his book, and he was having us shout out his book. He talked about hopping over in November, and finally that was one of the people like, oh, he's been here since November and hasn't said anything, and it's cool for him to have been around that long. Spencer found us from there. Lyle found us from there. Fielding found us from there. And now they're in the Discord, and I feel like we've made new friends with them, and we talk to them on a regular basis. I mean, we were wishing Fielding a happy birthday. He made the quote game for us. That's been so cool and so much fun, and we've been enjoying it. But we wanted to take this time, I guess enough looking at the past, because that leads us up to here, and talk about what we got coming down the pipeline, the type of stuff that we're going to be doing going into this year. So first and foremost, the major thing here is we're looking to get a third mic, get more guests in here, but specifically just to mic Jordan up. So during episodes, you won't hear the weird, awkward banter of us talking back and forth.
That dead air, or us having to repeat because stuff like that.
We're listening to something that he's saying, and then there's like 8 seconds of silence, and maybe you think your phone fucked up, and you're like, hey, what's going on? And actually, it's just Jordan is telling us something. So for him to be able to be mic'd up and actually have some input, because he has said some good things about franchises that we're not in and we don't really play, and for him to be able to jump in, we really want that. So we're going to invest in getting a mic over there, a new computer desk. Y'all can't see it, but the setup over there is clusterfuck and it's very compact. And so to get a bigger desk there, to get the monitors in a good spot, that we're looking to do that. That doesn't affect you guys as much, but it will make it a little better over there, more experience, cleaner. It'll also help the streams out a little bit when especially with you doing 5.9 stuff. That'll be a lot easier for you over there. And we're looking. I think we should get one of those mic things that clip to the desk. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I think we should get
the
that.
Moving one.
I think that'll be good for the stream and good for Jordan. So we're looking to do that. We're looking to possibly reinvest into the MinMax podcast again. That's been thrown around the table. Another $400 to sponsor them again, because we need to come up with some more, I guess, marketing plans or something like that to get us out there a little more. I think sponsoring the MinMax thing again could be good, especially if we split the cost between us. It won't be as expensive, and also at the same time, the people who hopped over will be hearing us again. Maybe they'll get reminded. They'll come over. The people who heard us the first time, when they hear us a second time, will be like, okay, maybe I'll hop over now because they hear us a second time. It's 100% target audience, and that's the type of audience we want. Those positive vibes. Yeah. And so we want to bring more of those people over, so we might reinvest in that to get another sponsorship over there. Possibly reach out to more people. I've been reaching out to people. Haven't really got many responses, but
what about the Kind of Funny thing?
Yeah. So the Kind of Funny
Greg Miller thing, I guess.
Yeah, Greg Miller is doing a community day podcast thing, 2 days of it, where he's going to randomly guest on a bunch of podcasts, and I'm shooting for that. I don't know they haven't released the signups or the stipulations. It's kind of a lottery system. There's not a guarantee for us to get in there, but we're
going to try.
We're going to try to get in there, and if it requires, people to share us and stuff, we will be asking you guys to share us and whatnot to get us out there, so we can try to get Greg Miller on our podcast, because they will also host us on their Twitch stream. Yeah, and that would be an incredible amount of exposure for us, especially if this audio issue is actually resolved. Our quality is quite good. I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but we spent a lot of money on ensuring it was professional quality. And I know the past month it hasn't really felt like that, but we've got it. We think we've got it back to where we need to be. Yeah. And so we're shooting for the Kind of Funny thing. Obviously, we had Bob Buell that one time. I sent messages out to the Blooper team for the Medium. We didn't get it, but that's okay. We sent emails to the Potionomics guys, the Stray team, to try to get on those creator lists. I don't know if we've got it or not.
We're going to keep trying, though.
I sent emails to Jacob Geller. I will send more emails to Jacob Geller. I love him very much. He's one of my favorite content creators out there. I want to get him on the podcast. That would be nice. I know he likes to guest on podcasts every once in a while.
Let's get Drew Gooden.
Drew Gooden. He's not in the gaming world, but that would be cool.
We can bring him on.
That would be cool. And we're looking to do that. In the area of more content, though, we're looking to do more impressions videos in the future. We just need more games to come out to be able to do that. We are looking to do more spoiler casts. I know we've only done a couple, and it's been almost it was the very beginning of the podcast when we did our last one, or June, I guess, was the last spoiler cast we did, and we've definitely could have done more since then. So we're looking to do more spoiler casts, more impressions content, keep that rolling, keep the ball rolling there, and we are looking to start another podcast.
Yeah,
a movie, film, TV podcast where we talk about the.
There is a bit of a story behind that one.
Yeah.
So we were gonna do a show that was project titled Synced Up Unplugged, which would be just me and Tim kind of bantering, talking about whatever we want to. Could be us talking about potato chips for 2 hours.
Yep.
Be great discussion, but
rotate in more of our friends.
Yeah, you can bring more people in. There's a lot of good things about it, but it didn't help us
grow,
which I think is what we want the most in this year.
I think it would be cool for you guys who are here, and we want to make more content for you guys.
And it'll happen eventually.
It will happen eventually, but we need growth.
So instead, the assets that we got for that, because we did get some assets,
we're going to repurpose.
Yeah, and they work great for this other idea, which is a film and media show where
we talk about the TV news, the movie news for the week. We have a couple ideas here. It will probably be structured like this show.
Pretty similar.
Pretty similar, but not exactly the same. We're gonna watch old movies, new movies. We talked about an IMDb top 50.
Yeah, I think that would be fun where we could have like a watch along and kind of talk about that.
Maybe we do a thing where we're like, hey, everyone, this is on this streaming service. If you have it, watch this week. Write in what you think of the movie, or if you want us to watch a specific movie, write in and we'll watch it. We have a lot of different ideas here.
Because I think it's a lot easier for us to get involved with our community and people watch a movie than necessarily play a 40-hour game.
Yeah, especially price point. Price point is a lot lower.
So there's a lot more things we can do there than if we had done the other show.
And it would have good SEO.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. So you can expect that. We're gonna wait till tax return season kind of kicks in, so we can get the set stuff and design for that.
So yeah, the new mic and stuff takes priority, but we should have enough money to get the set stuff because it's not. It's not looking to be.
Yeah, we found a pretty cheap idea that we can go with. That's a very easy design, and we'll test that out.
Yep.
So that you can expect that maybe in like March, April. That project getting pushed out. And then of course, I think that pretty much covers all the content we have planned out. Our 1 year anniversary is pretty much going to be either next week or the week after. And we don't have any huge ideas for what we want to do yet.
If you have any, write them in.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know what you'd want to see us do. Whether it's like a whole podcast of just reading reader mail, or we reminisce right now, so we don't really want to do that again.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some fun stuff we can do, and we can't really think of it at the moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I suggested we watch the Dragon Quest movie again from the original podcast, and give a more in-depth dive into that. But I don't think we'll do that either. Yeah. Maybe we'll save that for year 2.
We might play some games. We might do something. We got nothing right now, but we're thinking.
So we got to come up with some stuff for that. But I think that covers mostly what we want to do. We want to see this grow. We put 100%. A lot of energy into this.
We got about 100 of you guys now listening every week, and that's very nice. And I love all 100 of you. But we need more than 100 of you. I'm looking to get those increases. If we can have the same rate of increase, I'm talking maybe get 1,000 viewers listeners by the end of the year, stuff like that. This, that would be nice. But
we need to go. We need to sit down, make some goals, make a business plan.
Yep.
Marketing plan. We should do that kind of stuff. We should. So we'll work on that. We're gonna work on, the lighting, the sound, the visuals, all professional. We got to get the other stuff caught up. So we got to do that. But it's exciting. I think we have a good future here if we keep doing what we're doing. just turn it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The 5.9 stuff, I'm learning stuff there. Hopefully I can get some foot-ins here and there, trying to get like review codes there. I think I can get them faster there than I can here.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can get my foot in the door, hopefully I can carry that up over and synced up and help us grow there. I've made friends with editors and stuff who can do really cool content. So who knows, we're making steps, getting our feet in the door in a lot of places.
Finally got the Discord going and stuff. So we're trying new stuff.
And this is everything we do here. It's us doing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And none of this is experience from things before.
Nope. So I'm a mailman, bro.
And I manage a restaurant.
Yes.
Not a lot of crossover there.
No, not at all.
Everything's new for us, and thanks for being patient with us as we figure things out. I don't know. That's really it.
That's pretty much it. That's all I got. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Synced Up Podcast. Thank you for sticking with us if you've been with us for a while. Thank you for hopping on the train if you're new. Doesn't matter how new. Appreciate you guys in the Discord. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, you should go over to youtube.com/syncedupodcast. Give us a sub over there so we can see those numbers grow a little bit. Give us a review, whatever your podcasting service, specifically Apple Podcasts. That helps a lot on getting up on those charts. Just anything you got, try to give it to us, and we would appreciate it. We've all done it. We've all played our part, giving reviews and stuff, and trying to up those numbers as much as possible. And we need y'all's help to grow more.
Word of mouth, man. That's the best way to spread.
Yep.
So tell your friends.
Tell your friends about us. But again, thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Synced Up Podcast. Hopefully the audio didn't fuck up in this 20 minutes of heartfelt stuff. It didn't.
If it did, I'm gonna cry.
Dude, me too.
I can't record this part again.
But we will see y'all guys in the next video.
Goodbye.